Hi there everyone, Josiah here with Womprat Creations, and it is time for this week's show and tell. We are very near the end of the show and tell series of revealing my Return of the Jedi Boba Fett cosplay piece by piece. This one is something you guys are probably familiar with. But maybe not. It's not necessarily something that, if you've casually viewed Return of the Jedi once or twice, you'd probably remember if you noticed at all. It is Boba Fett's cape. This ratty, burned thing is Boba Fett's. It's not really a cape. Trying to think of what I would call it. It almost serves as a, well, let me tell you where it is on Boba Fett first. On his left shoulder, this hangs off kind of behind him so that you're not really too aware of it. It's kind of wedged right next to the jetpack, and you don't ever really get a great view of it. But the purpose of this is almost like a poncho. It, like I said, connects up here at the shoulder, and though we don't see him do it in the movie, he has the ability to pull it over and cover himself. I can't see this affording much warmth, so I think really this is just to kind of conceal his armor, maybe make him a little less conspicuous. I don't know, but it's a cool little piece, and this is actually cut from a tarp that I got from a military surplus store, and it already had all of these little eyelets throughout the whole thing, so I placed my cut so that I only got one for the one piece where it attaches on his shoulder. And then I went through and cut up I'll go ahead and turn it over for you guys. Went around and cut up the ends, and then I actually set them on fire so that they would mimic the scorch marks, I'm assuming, from his jetpack. And I think it came out pretty nicely. There are few things I could have probably replicated the damage with paint, and there are some mistings of black and brown spray paint on here to give it a little more character, but why go through the trouble of mimicking burn marks if you can just actually burn it? So you have to be careful, of course. Don't be setting things on fire if you don't have an immediate plan B and plan C readily available to take care of it if it gets out of hand. But if you do it in small sections, it's fairly manageable. Yeah, this was just, it's not, now I will say, I mean, this thing you can see is burned to hell. It's pretty eaten up. It's not the best. It wouldn't be my idea to have a cape next to my jetpack that dangles really close to the thruster off to the side. That wouldn't be my call. But Boba has it, and this did change from, it is present in both Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, but the color changes. So Empire Strikes Back, it is two colors. It's essentially the same shape. I think it's a little less eaten up, but it's like a cream and orange color. Then in Empire Strikes Back, they would just went to this kind of OD military green, which was perfect for going to the, like I said, the military surplus store and finding one. You can see that this is pretty wrinkled and it looks pretty grody, and that feels very Boba. The way that I store this is crumpled up in a cabinet so that when I pull it out, that's essentially free weathering. That's one of the, I know mentioned this before, but that is one of the lovely thing about Star Wars props is you don't have to be gentle with them. You can, the more beat up they get, the more real they feel, and that's really nice. So I actually still have the rest of the tarp in the cabinet along where I store this one, because I know I'm going to use it for something else someday. It's too good of a piece of fabric. It's nice and thick and pretty durable. It's too good of a piece of fabric to throw away. Even though I've cut out this section from it. But yeah, this is one of those things where it you're doing a little bit of storytelling with the costume design that might not even pay off in the movie, and it didn't. We never saw Boba Fett use his cape at all. We just saw it hanging off of his shoulder. I know that this comes from the one of the big inspirations for Boba Fett's look was Clint Eastwood's character in, is it The Man with No Name? I believe so. I believe it's The Man with No Name. And in that movie, Clint Eastwood has a poncho that he wears, and he kind of throws off to the side so that he can have access to his gun. This is where that came from. This is where that addition came from. Boba Fett has a very Western gunslinger type feel, at least in the original trilogy. He's kind of taking on a more savage space in The Mandalorian, which is really cool and really fun to see. But the sense that I got from Boba in the original trilogy is kind of a gunslinger, and this is where that comes from. That influence comes from, like I said, Clint Eastwood's character. I'm almost 100% sure it's The Man with No Name. Might be The Good and the Bad and the Ugly, but like I said, I think it's The Man with No Name. But thank you guys for tuning in for this week's show and tell. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Hey, look at you, you overachiever you. You watched that entire video and you deserve something awesome in return. You can head over to wompratcreations.com. The link will be down in the description, and you can pick yourself up some awesome Womprat Creations merch, just like this original Only You Can Prevent Imperial Invasions Ewok t-shirt. Thanks, guys.
517 to scanner control. 316, report to control. 53 to upper bay door. 53 to upper bay door.